Hi, this is Allison Arngrim, alias Nellie Olson, and you're listening to TV Confidential.
Fred Robertson welcoming you back to TV Confidential radio talk show about television. Now we'll shift gears this segment as we welcome our friend Susan McCray. Susan is a Renaissance woman in every sense of the word. Her life and career spans the world of music, television, and radio. Susan's dad was Oscar-winning composer Harry Sukman, while Susan began her career as a recording artist in her own right, whose hit records included Say a Prayer for Michael. In the world of television, Susan was the casting director of such popular shows as Kung Fu, Happy Days, The Odd Couple, Laverne and Shirley, and, beginning with Little House on the Prairie, many of the shows and TV movies produced by and starring Michael Landon. Listeners of our affiliate station, KSAV, know Susan McCray as the host of the popular interview show Getting to Know You, which ran for about 10 years and is still online at SusanMcCray.net. Susan is about to launch a brand new radio program called Kaleidoscope, which we'll tell you more about in just a second. But first, Susan McCray, welcome to TV Confidential.
Well, thank you, Ed. It's such a pleasure to be here.
I know what a kaleidoscope is visually speaking. Tell us what a kaleidoscope on radio is like.
A kaleidoscope on radio is a colorful show taking in all different kinds of, like fashion and makeup and music and all different kinds of things that make up a lot of fun and interesting subjects all in 1 half hour.
Sounds like the perfect type of magazine show for a Sunday morning.
It's exactly what it is. That is true, and I have some wonderful hosts to host different subjects. There's a wonderful radio host, Karen, is a fantastic expert on music and Billboard music. She is going to report on the latest in music happenings, and then I have Rachel Kale, who's a terrific makeup artist, and she gives the latest on makeup. So this, and I have to tell you, I don't know if you remember Irma Bombeck.
I do.
But I have my own Irma Bombeck. Her name is Lauren Levian, and she does a little thing called About Life. And a lot of people can relate to what she's talking about. She's a lot of fun. She's on every week as well.
So kind of a slice of life type of feature.
Right. It's a lot of fun. And, of course, I do my Hollywood Hotline, which I do every day, too. So, I give you the latest in Hollywood. And once in a while, if I get lucky, I'll have a star drop in and say a few words to me and answer a couple of questions. So that's Kaleidoscope. Kaleidoscope
airs Sunday mornings twice a day on our affiliate station, KSAV.org. You can follow Susan McCray, SusanMcCray.net. Before you were a radio person, Susan, you spent many, many years as a casting director in television for Paramount Studios, for Warner Brothers Television, and then, as we mentioned in our open, you spent the better part of 2 decades as the casting director for Michael Landon productions, including Little House, including Highway to Heaven, and many of the TV movies that Michael produced. What interests me about not only your career as a casting director, but the time in which you became a casting director, it was a time when both television and movies were beginning to recognize the importance of a casting director. And I would imagine for you to enter the industry in casting at that time was very exciting.
Oh, it was fantastic. I'll tell you what was interesting at the time. There weren't a lot of women casting at the time. Mm-hmm. But the 2 women that I started to work with at the beginning were actually, they started before most of them did. I mean, we had a lot of men in charge of casting back then. But now it's kind of prevalent to have ladies cast your shows. I think we as women put a different spin on different stories, and it was really very exciting for me. I really did enjoy it very much, and I still do some when a project comes forward, and and I think it's something that I would like to do because, working with Michael Landon, you know what that meant. That meant family-oriented projects that are really the kind of thing that you're not embarrassed to have your children watch.
Yeah, very much so. I'm just thinking aloud here. At the time you became a casting director, I think there was Marion Doherty. She was a female casting director. There was Dodie McLean, who was
right.
Quinn Martin's casting director, and that's about it.
Yeah, that's absolutely true. I can honestly say that if it weren't for Michael Landon and Kent McCray, I wouldn't have gotten the shot at what I eventually, the notoriety that I received through the years because of the popularity of the shows and what I did. I think it was wonderful. And from Little House, I also was casting Hawaii Five-0, so one led to the other, and it was really quite wonderful.
Susan McCray is on the line with us. Susan spent many years in television as a casting director for such popular shows as Hawaii Five-0, Happy Days, Laverne and Shirley, and, as mentioned, many of the shows produced by and starring Michael Landon, including Little House on the Prairie. Susan is the host and anchor of Kaleidoscope, a new 30-minute Sunday morning magazine type of show that catches you up in the world of music, makeup, Hollywood, and a slice of life feature called About Life. Kaleidoscope airs twice a day, Sunday mornings on our affiliate station, KSAV.org. I'm just thinking aloud here, Susan, which is always very dangerous, but I'm thinking aloud, and I'm thinking about something you just said a few minutes ago about how beneficial it can be if you have a female casting director because of the female perspective. And now part of this comes from the fact that I come from a large family, and I have a lot of sisters, and my mother was the management in every sense of the word. But
how many bathrooms did you have, Ed?
We had two.
Sure, it was interesting in the morning.
Well, no, that's another conversation. But but my point is, from both firsthand experience growing up and in my relationships in my career, I appreciate how women are really good at multitasking, and how that relates to casting is that once upon a time, particularly in the studio system when it was a male-driven industry, you would sort of think in terms of, okay, we have Gary Cooper under contract, let's fit him in this role. Whereas with the emergence of female casting directors, that started to change in that you were thinking in terms of the best actor for a part, A, and not only that, if you brought an actor back, you wouldn't necessarily cast him or her in the same type of character. You knew that they can do different things. So if you brought a Dabbs Greer in to play a bad guy on a Hawaii Five-0, I could bring him back on Little House as the minister. Exactly, and because you knew that Dabbs could do a lot of things, you didn't just type him into one thing.
Yeah, well, that was so great with Frank Capra. He used to have his group of actors that he knew he could put in different roles in different films, and they were sensational. They were never typecast,
Were there certain actors you like to call on, depending on what show you were on? Were there certain type of characters you like to call on whenever they were available?
Well, for Little House on the Prairie, there were certain types of characters that are the kind of open space period piece type of people that you have to cast for that. So you really had to look for a certain type. On the other hand, I always had the notion of casting on the nose or offbeat casting. I always would bring in two different types of people for each part, so that the director, producer, who in my case was Mike Landon, had the choice. They could go with something that's described or go with something totally different. I was very fortunate in that way because with Michael, I didn't have to clear anybody with the network, as most other casting people had to do. When Mike said he wanted something, that was it. And I was very lucky in that way. And because of that, I was able to go to a lot of small plays, small theaters, and be able to really discover people that didn't have a lot of film. And I was very fortunate in that way, and a lot of actors were very grateful for that.
Susan McCray is on the line with us. Susan is the host of Kaleidoscope, a new magazine show that catches you up on the world of music, makeup, Hollywood news, Hollywood television, as well as slice of life stuff. Kaleidoscope airs Sunday mornings twice a day on our affiliate station, ksav.org. To catch up with Susan, Susan's website is susanmccray.net. You can also follow her on Facebook, correct?
That is correct.
Now, we mentioned, you mentioned your husband, Kent McCray. Kent McCray was the production manager and the producer of Little House. Before that, he worked with David Dordert on High Chapparal. I understand you have a documentary in the works about Kent's career that covers not just those shows, but everything he did.
I do, and it starts from live television many years ago. He started in the business in the 50s, and he worked with such great stars that we don't really have anymore, like Bob Hope, who he went on USO tours with, and Milton Berle and Red Skelton and Groucho Marx, all of those people, and he has wonderful stories and things that he accomplished in his career. And yes, from there, of course, his association with Michael Landon was amazing. It was over 35 years, those two together, and they were like brothers. And Michael always called him the brother I never had, and they were really very, very close. And, you know, one would start a story, the other one would finish. That was the kind of relationship they had. And I am doing a documentary. It will be released at holiday time. I have to turn it in September, and so I'm rushing through, and we'll get to post and all that stuff. But yes, it's wonderful, and I have some lovely interviews with people who knew and worked with Kent. I have Melissa Gilbert, who reminisces about her relationship as a little girl growing up and having Kent around, and Mike, and Don Collier, who was one of the stars of High Chapparal and featured in many Bonanza episodes, and, you know, people who really got to know him and work with him. So I'm very much excited about this. I think it's going to be wonderful. It's going to be actually released first as a bonus DVDs with the 4th season of High Chapparal, which will be released around Christmas time. And I think all the fans who love Bonanza and High Chapparal will go crazy knowing that Kent will be a bonus DVD within that set, and it's going to be very good. I'm very looking forward to this.
That is Kent McCray, Love, Life, and Television, which will be released as part of the 4th season DVD release of the High Chapparal, which will be available, if all goes well, in December, just in time for the holidays.
Right.
To keep up with that, you can follow Susan on Facebook. You can follow her on her website, susanmccray.net. And, of course, Susan hosts the new Kaleidoscope show, which airs twice a day on Sunday mornings on our affiliate station, ksav.org. While we're on the subject of High Chapparal, many, 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 many years ago, I had a chance to talk to Henry Darrow. And
I love him.
Yeah, he's a great storyteller. And one of the things he told me is, somehow we're talking about Cameron Mitchell. And he told me that Cam was very, very, very funny in real life, and that 9 times out of 10, what you saw on screen on Chapparal was who Cam was as a person.
It's absolutely true. Absolutely true. Cam was a character, but he was probably one of the finest actors you could ever find. You talk about typecasting or putting him in a role. I mean, let's face it, look at the different roles he took on through his career. He was amazing, and he was so happy doing High Chapparal. It was unbelievable. He loved it. The problem was, well, it wasn't a problem for us, but it was so hot where we shot. We shot the series in Tucson, Arizona, which I just came from at 115 degrees. And I got to tell you, being out there shooting was really unbearable. It was awful. And he decided he wanted to be in black. His outfit was in black, his wardrobe. And we all wondered why in the world he would want to do it. But let's face it, black is the hottest color that you can wear.
Yes, it is.
He said the easiest thing when you wear black, he used to all of a sudden douse himself in the water trough in the middle of the day so he could cool off. Now, on camera, you couldn't tell whether his black wardrobe was wet or not.
Mm-hmm.
So he's a smart guy, right?
Very much so.
He cooled off all day long. He was fine.
Cameron Mitchell, of course, one of the stars of the High Chapparal. Season 4 of the High Chapparal, if all goes well, will be available on DVD in December. One of the extra features of Season 4 of the High Chapparal is the brand new documentary, Kent McCray, Love, Life, and Television, produced by our guest, Susan McCray. Susan McCray, Kent's wife and partner in every sense in the word for more than 3 decades. Susan is also the host of the new Sunday morning show Kaleidoscope, which is heard twice a day on our affiliate station, KSAV.org. I've had a chance...
My gosh, you ran all of that, and I'm exhausted. Holy smokes, I can't believe I'm doing all that stuff.
We'll talk some more with Susan after this quick time out here on TV Confidential.
Are payday loans ruining your life? Do you want control over your money again? If you have 2 or more payday loan cash advances, listen closely. You may be eligible for a program payday loan companies don't want you to know about. A program that may help get aggressive and unfair payday loan companies out of your bank account and get you back on track to financial freedom. Payday loan companies may trap you into paying outrageously high interest rates, and they take way too much of your hard-earned money every week. We understand their tactics and know how to keep them off your back. We'll fight hard to help you regain control of your money. If you have 2 or more payday loan cash advances, call right now for a free consultation.
800-488-5880. 800-488-5880. 800-488-5880. That's 800-488-5880.
Hi, this is Rhonda Shear, and you're staying up all night or day with TV Confidential.
Become an advertiser or underwriter of TV Confidential and let our brand help promote your brand. To find out more, go to televisionconfidential.com/advertise.
Buying or selling a home can be one of the most stressful things we'll ever do in life. But it doesn't have to be. And no one knows better than our friends at Front Porch Realty Group. They're a community of realtors serving the Northern Bay Area of California that cares about their clients as individuals first and foremost. Whether you're a first-time buyer or looking to lease or sell your property in the Bay Area, Front Porch Realty Group will help you through this important transition by providing you with the right information for your situation while lessening the pain. They also work with a network of realtors throughout California who provide the same high caliber of customer service. Call Front Porch Realty Group at 415-886-7411 for a realtor referral near you. You can also visit their website, frontporchrealtygroup.com, for more information on the services they provide, including upcoming workshops and seminars. For more information, call 415-886-7411 or visit frontporchrealtygroup.com. Front Porch Realty Group. They'll find the solution that works best for you.
Uber is the mobile app that connects you with a driver for immediate transportation. Request a ride at the tap of a button and you have a driver curbside in minutes. You can choose to be driven in a black car, SUV, or you can choose UberX, the low-cost Uber for a ride in a hybrid or mid-range car. Payment is seamless and cashless, billed to your card on file with no need to tip. Enter the promo code TV Confidential after you download the app to receive a free first ride up to $20. For more information, go to get.uber.com/go/TV TV Confidential.
Hi, everybody. This is Benny Biffle.
And this is Sammy Schuster.
And you're listening to TV Confidential.
Confidentially.
Ed Robertson with a reminder that legendary Scream Queen Dee Wallace will join us at the top of the hour. We hope you stay tuned for that. In the meantime, on the line with us right now is our friend Susan McCray. Susan was one of the very first female casting directors in network television, while she and her husband, Kent McCray, collaborated with Michael Landon on many, many projects, including Little House on the Prairie, Father Murphy, Highway to Heaven, and a host of highly acclaimed made-for-TV movies. Susan McCray anchors Kaleidoscope, a new Sunday morning magazine show that airs twice a day on Sundays on ShareAvision Radio, KSAV.org. Susan is also the producer of Kent McCray, Love, Life, and Television, a new documentary about Kent's life and career in television, which dates back to the very early days of the medium and his long association with NBC and, as mentioned, Michael Landon. Kent McCray, Love, Life, and Television will be released in December as part of the Season 4 DVD package of the High Chapparal. I have been told by people who worked with Landon that he was shrewd, he was savvy, and he was very, very, very funny, a prankster in every sense of the word.
He was the absolute most wonderful man I have ever known, besides Kent, of course. I mean, he was sensational. He was best man at my wedding.
Mm-hmm.
And I got to tell you, he is, I can't even begin to tell you what a wonderful man he was. He was sincere, honest, a good-natured guy. And when he was your friend, I'm telling you, there was no better friend than Michael Landon. No better. And such a talent. He was far more talented than most people realize. He not only wrote most of the scripts that we did, he directed most of the scripts we did, and not because he had to or he wanted to. It was not an ego thing. He was just very, very good at it.
Yeah.
And all of the product that he did produce and direct, believe me, he was sensational. And I can't even believe when I say this out loud that NBC couldn't remember who Michael Landon was the other day when we had a meeting. I mean, you know, I realize that time has passed, but not that much time that you can't turn on the television and see a Michael Landon show. So it's hard to believe. He was with NBC for many, many years.
Well, This is a topic we return to many times on our program, Susan. There ought to be a requirement that if you're hired by a network, if you're hired by a studio, whether it's Warner Brothers, whether it's Paramount, you need to know the institutional history of that organization before
Wouldn't that be nice?
Yeah.
Wouldn't that be nice?
You know.
Certainly would, yeah.
I mean, you know, it's just anyway, that I don't want to go.
I mean, you know, let's face it, the only reason they know Betty Davis is because of the song, right?
Yeah.
Betty Davis Eyes?
Yeah.
That's it. They don't know these people from the industry. They don't know who they are, the Humphrey Bogarts and the Lauren Bacalls and those kind of people. They don't know who they are. And it's really a crime. It really is.
Well, maybe you need to compose a song called Michael Landon Eyes.
Oh, boy. He had dreamy eyes. He was a very handsome guy. And I don't know if you got a minute, but when people would come in to read a part, he didn't want to intimidate anybody. Because he was so good-looking, you know, people would look at him in person and go, wow, and they would feel kind of shy in giving a performance. He would sit beside me on the floor next to my desk so that people wouldn't be staring at him when they read a script.
Yeah.
And I would have to explain to them, it's not that he doesn't like you. He just doesn't want to intimidate you.
Yeah.
And one day, an actor came in and said, my gosh, you're absolutely right. He sat there on the floor. And Michael said to me, you didn't tell him that I sit on the floor because I and I said, yes, I did. I had to, I had to do that because I didn't want them to feel that it was because they weren't good,
We're talking about how Michael directed many of the episodes of his shows, and a lot of it had to do with efficiency because, he grew up pretty much on the set. He spent all of his formative years on the set of Bonanza, so a lot of the stuff he just knew how to do, and so it made a lot of sense that he would direct his own shows and run his own companies. And I understand that because he was a professional in every sense in the word and very efficient, that builds loyalty amongst crew members.
Tremendous loyalty. We had crew members that started way back when, at the beginning of Bonanza, and that was really Kent's doing because everybody became a family, and from one show to the next, everybody stayed. And people would approach Kent and Mike when walking down the streets of some of the studios. They'd say, how the heck do we get on your show? How do we get in there? Because it was such a great place to work. Everybody loved getting up and going to work. And that stemmed from the two gentlemen. That's it,
Kent McCray is the subject of Love, Life, and Television, the new documentary that will be part of the DVD package of Season 4 of the High Chapparal, which will come out, if all goes well, in December of 2019. Kent McCray, Love, Life, and Television, produced by our guest, Susan McCray, who's also the host of the Kaleidoscope show that airs twice a day on Sundays on our affiliate station, KSAV.org. Just a couple more questions. We're talking about what a pragmatic guy Cameron Mitchell was with dunking his black costume in water so that you couldn't tell it was wet, so which kept them hydrated and cool.
Absolutely.
Now, going back to this relates to Michael in the sense that if I remember correctly, Little House was filmed. I forget which ranch, but it was down in the valley somewhere.
Simi Valley. It was in Simi Valley on Tapple Canyon.
Okay, Simi Valley, and I've been down here long enough to know, Susan, that Simi Valley in the summer, which is when you would have shot most of the shows, June, July, August, it's not unusual to hit 90s and triple digits. And when you've got the lights on, that adds another 15, 20 degrees. And I have been told that one way that Michael kept cool is that when he directed his show, he would take his shirt off.
Well, I don't know. I don't know. I can tell you it was a lot cooler than Tucson, Arizona.
Okay. All right.
But no, we had a lot of wind there. There was an awful lot of wind that came through there. But it was just a lot of fun. We always had a lot of fun. We had all those kids, which really was a lot to deal with. And, of course, their parents were with them, too, and that was even worse to deal with. But other than that, it was a fun thing for everybody to go to work. It really was. And Mike, if he took off his shirt, good.
Well, this is called a seg. Susan hosts the Hollywood Hotline segment of Kaleidoscope, where you get inside information on what's going on today in movies and television, and sometimes you'll have a special guest from the world of television who'll drop in and maybe tell you whether Michael Landon took his shirt off or not. But Kaleidoscope airs twice a day, Sunday mornings, on our affiliate station, KSAV.org. For more on Susan McCray, SusanMcCray.net. You can also follow her on Facebook. Susan, you're a lot of fun. When the DVD comes out, come back and visit us again.
I would love to visit you again. Thanks.
Got a few minutes, enough time to tell you about Sinatra in Palm Springs, the place he called home, the documentary film by Leo Zahn that not only explores Sinatra's deep attachment to Palm Springs and the Coachella Valley here in Southern California, but captures the spirit of the Sinatra era while also paying tribute to his unique lifestyle. The documentary includes interviews with Barbara Sinatra, Tom Dreesen, Trini Lopez, and a host of other personalities who knew Old Blue Eyes and who lived and played with them. It also takes a look at Sinatra's personal style, why he was known as Mr. Neat, his impeccable mid-century compound in Rancho Mirage, as well as Sinatra's reputation as Palm Springs' most generous tipper, least proficient driver, and greatest lover of a free whiskey. That is Sinatra in Palm Springs. Sinatra in Palm Springs, the place he called home, now available on Blu-ray through our friends at Shout Factory. Dee Wallace will join us when we come back for hour number 2 of TV Confidential. Stay with us.
If you haven't been listening to TV Confidential, this is who you're missing.
Michelle Nichols, Adrienne Barbeau,
Leonard Maltin,
Joyce Bullisan,
Peter Onorati,
Judy Norton,
Robert Wagner, Robert Hooke,
Lee Purcell, Julie Bass,
Rhonda Shear,
Michelle Lee,
Jacqueline Smith,
Lou Antonio,
Shirley Jones,
And many, many more of your favorite celebrities and people behind the scenes in the world of television. That's TV Confidential, every week on this station.
And every day online at televisionconfidential.com.
Become a TV Confidential confidant and receive unlimited access to the last 5 years of TV Confidential, plus other members-only content. To find out more, go to televisionconfidential.com and click Become a Confidant. Enter the coupon code CONFIDENTIAL when you sign up, and you'll receive $5 off your first month's membership. For more information, go to televisionconfidential.com and click Become a Confidant.
You can listen to this show all over again as a podcast on iTunes, Spreaker, TuneIn, Apple Podcast, and wherever podcasts are found. Best of all, it's free. To subscribe to the TV Confidential podcast, go to the homepage at televisionconfidential.com and click Subscribe Now.
Hi, my name is Lily. My mom and dad used to fight about money all the time. Then one day, I heard them talking about this guy, some uncle I never knew, called Uncle Sam. Well, they say this Uncle Sam guy wanted them to pay him like $1 gazillion, and they didn't have $1 gazillion. So they called this company they heard on the radio called the Tax Doctor. And the Tax Doctor worked with Uncle Sam's people. I think they're called the IRS. And they were able to work it out so my mom and dad didn't have to pay Uncle Sam very much money at all. So now mom and dad are happy, and I'm happy too. Thanks, Tax Doctor.
If you owe $10,000 or more to the IRS or state, call now and pay less.
800-649-0142. 800-649-0142. That's 800-649-0142.
Alexa users, you can now listen to TV Confidential on your smart speaker by just saying, Alexa, play TV Confidential. Enabling our Alexa skill is easy. To find out how, go to televisionconfidential.com/Alexa. This portion of TV Confidential is brought to us by our friends at Front Porch Realty Group, the community of realtors in the Northern Bay Area of California that is committed to finding the solution that is best for their clients. Whether you're a first-time home buyer or looking to sell or lease your property in Northern California, call 415-886-7411 or visit frontporchrealtygroup.com for more information on how they can help you.